Is that what we're drinking tonight or eating tonight?
I'm a little light. I went back to water after starting too early.
Rookie move.
He sounds like he's in a bathtub or something.
Most of us killed stuff this year. There's a few people in this room that didn't kill stuff.
You can step out.
I was going to say, pardon me, Brad, you want to go downstairs? We'll just go have a conversation by ourselves.
You saw a lot of stuff take dirt naps.
Yeah.
Actually, I got video of you trying to give a pig a dirt nap.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, I think I've seen that
the
purple streak.
Exactly. The nocturnal gives it away. He can't get away from that one. So
Yeah. It was close.
I haven't posted that video yet. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to do that. But
Throw the highlights in there, and then just put a to be continued at the end of it. And so next year,
as he's fit full
when
draw,
he actually capitalizes, we'll just continue the video.
Plus, you're left-handed, so you're at a disadvantage there too. So.
Yes.
Plus, you're one-eyed, and your nose hairs are growing longer on the right side.
Yeah, I closed both eyes though as soon as I shot. So
Did you read the back of my sweater?
I did not read the back of your sweater. Oh.
What gets you off, or what?
Woo. I never dreamed I'd grow up to be a super sexy bow hunter, but here I am.
Okay, your wife got you that for Christmas.
No, one of my BFs did.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Jesus.
no comment.
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna probably
gonna
plead
hold
the
off on
fifth,
that.
and
He
we're
didn't
gonna
read
move
the
on.
bottom where it said, "And I'm here killing it." That's the bottom.
Well, you sat down before I got to finish the sentence, and then
That's
they
because you were
both.
too busy staring at my butt.
Well, I mean, come on. And these guys started going, "Oh my God, here
There's
they are."
a reason why we put you two on the couch.
Redneck 101, here
Exactly.
we come.
Welcome to the RNA Outdoors podcast, fueled by Ripcord Arrow Rest and First Light Hunting Apparel. At RNA, we are a public land DIY conservationists that love to share our passion for the outdoors. So join us and our team as we interview professionals in the industry to share insight knowledge that helps make hunters and anglers more successful. Hey listeners, subscribers, and fellow outdoorsmen and women. This is your host, Lucas Paw, and I'm excited to tell you about some of the sponsors that continue to help make this podcast not only happen, but grow and thrive in this digital world of audio content. This podcast is brought to you by Ripcord Arrow Rest, the bow hunter's #1 fall-away rest on the market. Ripcord is known for 100% full-time arrow containment and their patented drop-dead brake system that eliminates launcher bounce back. Best of all, Ripcord is backed by their rock-solid guarantee. If the original owner has a part break for any reason, it will be repaired or replaced at no charge. And did I mention? Ripcord is located in southwest Montana, where all their products are made with pride in America. Check them out at ripcordarrowrest.com and on their social media feeds. This podcast is brought to you by First Light Clothing and Hunting Apparel. Born in the Rockies in central Idaho, First Light's mission is to create simple, yet proven, versatile gear that provides comfort and performance in any situation while working to promote the pursuit of ethical hunting and stewardship. I recently joined the First Light Pro staff team and have continued to be impressed year after year in their innovations in engineering of merino wool fabrics. 10 years ago, they started putting out wool fabrics with camo patterns, and immediately this changed the game. Since then, they offer multiple layering systems and kits in various proprietary patterns and continue to raise the bar with their competition. Find them online at firstlight.com or under their social media feeds. Go farther, stay longer. Well, gentlemen,
What are we doing?
Welcome to the cave, Justin. Welcome, man.
Thanks, huh?
Yeah. Brad, first time on air.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
I just sit and watch.
That didn't sound very good, did it?
Observe, drink.
Yeah.
Well, you
Does
gotta
your
drink a
woman
little
know
bit.
about that? You just sit and watch?
You're going to bleed out 2 virgins tonight.
Quiet.
Uh-oh.
Quiet.
Bleep. Okay, we're
okay.
back on again.
I have editing skills, so.
He does. I'm taking a drink now, so.
Yeah. So happy New Year's, guys.
Hey, thank you.
We got one
Happy
more
New
day
Year's,
in
man.
17. 17 was a good year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We're
Yes.
gonna recap 17 tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit about some of the adventures we did. Most of us
Yeehaw.
killed stuff this year. There's a few people in this room that didn't kill stuff.
You can step out.
I was going to say, pardon me, Brad, you want to go downstairs? We'll just go have a conversation by ourselves.
But we're a part of some pretty amazing hunts. So
Amen to that.
it's not always about being the one behind the trigger, and that's,
Yeah, I
That's
saw
the
a lot
cool
of
thing.
I saw a lot of animals drop.
you
this
saw a
year.
lot of stuff take dirt naps.
Yeah.
Actually, I got
lot.
video of you trying to give a pig a dirt nap.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually,
And
I think I've
the
seen
problem
that
is the
purple streak.
exactly the nocturnal gives it away. He can't get away from that one. So
Yeah. It was close. It was close.
I haven't posted that video yet. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to do that, but
We should just
Blur
Brad
his face.
screwed
You should-
up.
You should
Dot.
you should pause this podcast and say, "Oh, by the way, everybody, okay, now go to here and watch Brad's
Yep.
All you
Blue
got to do,
Nocturnal."
throw the highlights in there, and then just put a to be continued at the end of it. And so next year,
As he's fit full
when
draw.
he actually capitalizes, we'll just continue the video.
the crazy thing is when I was videoing that, I'm like, he's got to be like 10 yards from this thing. I mean, you
31.
You stalked right up behind it. He went in just out of the cut of that alfalfa, and he just was sitting right on that high area. And
Yep.
you were sitting there at full draw. I'm thinking, okay. And you can see the nocturnal go, and then he runs out. You turn around, look at me, and I'm like, I don't know. I was probably 200 yards away, but
No, I definitely turned around and went, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I shot right under him because I was so confident at 30 yards. And instead of just holding in the middle of him, blowing his lungs out, I'm gonna shoot him in the heart. I just shot the bow. I'm dialed in. This
that was
bow
your new bow, wasn't it?
brand new bow. Shot it a bunch. Was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke this pig. Well, the problem was I ranged him 30 yards, drew back. He took a couple steps. I had to step down the hill 3 times.
That's right. You took a couple steps back.
which probably added 2-3 yards.
Plus, you're left-handed, so you're at a disadvantage there
Yes,
too. So
yes.
Plus, you're one-eyed,
yeah.
and your nose hairs are growing longer on the right side.
Yeah, I closed both eyes though as soon as I shot. So
yeah,
That's smart. Smart.
hope for the
Doesn't
best.
have anything to do with the XO Crown that he's been drinking either.
what a great
The eye,
Christmas
we-
gift.
I'm drinking water. Hello. Is that not water right there or what?
Why are you on water now?
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff we've been drinking before we got here.
Oh, the XO Crown.
Funny thing is
Thanks, Brad.
I had to cook. I had to cook elk meat and mule deer meat tonight just to get these guys over here to hang out with me. But
True
We
story.
told him we were good to go. Guys, Tuesday
Yeah.
night works too. Yep, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday works for me.
I got more in the fridge that's aging. So,
Well, okay, we're back on for Tuesday.
so what was your favorite part of the meal tonight? Was it
Oh my God, that
because here's a funny
The
thing
whiskey.
you guys need to see when I put my grocery list together. It consisted of beer, bread, and bacon. Those are the only things on my grocery list
well,
today.
I will
so.
say, in my opinion, that bacon wrapped mule deer was absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean,
Coming from you, because you're kind of a mule deer snob.
I am kind of a mule deer snob. I actually prefer elk, but that bacon wrapped mule deer was absolutely great. And that new grill that you got,
I'm still
You're a
working,
geek.
I'm still working the tweaks out of it, but
Little fonts of pants.
yeah.
oh my gosh.
It's crazy when you can sit in there and watch the meat temperature rise on your phone.
when he starts, I mean, are you going to get those guys as a sponsor or something? Because
No, it's not the plan, but-
You are a total geek when it comes to
I
that.
know.
You're like, look at your phone. Look, guys, hey, it's at 89 degrees. We only have another
2 more degrees, and we got this in
Yeah.
the bag.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Everyone's like, Traeger. I'm like, yeah, Traeger doesn't have Wi-Fi, so this is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And I did give you a bunch of crap for it because I was like, oh, come on. And then I saw it on your phone. And I'm like, all right, I got to buy one.
I gotta need one of those.
That's
dang
sick.
it.
But you think about the amount that all of us hunt and the amount of meat we put in a freezer. the days of just putting it on a gas grill and charring it. I mean, there's so much meat we
He's
probably
talking about
wasted.
me.
Well,
He's talking about you too?
No.
Yeah.
That's why we sit on
Look,
this side of
both
the
of them-
room, and they sit on that
Yeah.
side of the room.
It must
Yeah.
be a shirt thing too. They're both wearing the same kind of.
I'm wearing my Walmart specials. I don't know.
They're geeking out or something over there. Even though
So what shirt
when he's
are you
gone,
wearing
we'll
there,
steal
Lucas?
it from you.
This would be one of our sponsors of the podcast, First
Oh.
Light.
First Light sponsor, and you have a First Light shirt on also.
I'm not sponsored though
That's
because
a
I
pretty
don't
neat
kill
Walmart
anything.
flag you got on there, buddy. I like that. That's
American, born and raised.
American, I
America.
say American.
I was up on the American-Canadian border here a month ago.
Did you read the back of my sweater?
I did not read the back of your sweater. Oh,
What gets you off or what?
woo. I never dreamed I'd grow up to be a super sexy bow hunter, but here I am.
Okay, your wife got you that for Christmas.
No, one of my BFs did.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Jesus.
No comment.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to
We're
probably
gonna
plead
hold
the
off
fifth
on that.
and
He
we're going
didn't
to
read the
move
bottom
on.
where it said, "And I'm here killing it." That's the bottom.
Well, you sat down before I got to finish the sentence, and then
That's
they
because you were
both.
too busy staring at my butt.
Well, I mean, come on. And these guys started going, "Oh my God, here
There's
they
a
are."
reason why we put you two on the couch. So,
Redneck 101, here
Exactly.
we come.
Yeah.
all right, boys, let's talk about hunting. So, 2017. If you guys could think about one memory, one highlight, maybe something that you learned or something that maybe will help you in 2018's hunt. So what jumps out at any of you guys from 2017 that was something you'll maybe take into next year?
I need more points.
No, you don't.
Oh,
Jason, how many animals did you pull the trigger on this year?
let's see here now. I didn't kill anything. I
That's
didn't even
unlike
kill.
you.
I didn't even kill a squirrel this season.
That's unlike you.
So, but I was involved in a lot of dead shit. Was with you and Brad when my boy killed a hog here
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
Was with my buddy Tom when my daughter killed her hog in California. And then, Lucas, you and I were on my daughter's elk hunt, which was Arizona elk. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, there's
What
only
can
been
you
about how many podcasts we did on that?
That's just
That
off
was
the charts.
awesome.
And it was a lot harder than we thought. I
Yeah.
mean, you draw a rifle tag during the rut and you think grandeur thoughts of 350 class bulls running all over the place and eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which one are we going to shoot? And instead we end up basically archery hunting elk with a rifle.
Yeah.
And you shoot them at 70 yards. I mean, when you're practicing shooting at 600 yards,
She was
That's-
ready to and
yeah.
didn't need to pull out anything long range, but she was
No.
ready for it.
And then for me, of course, then my son's mule deer hunt in Nevada. I mean, that was absolutely off the chart.
He only shot, a
29,
29-inch wide mule deer? I mean, nothing big.
4x4, phenomenal fronts on that buck. It was bigger than any buck I've ever killed.
The crazy thing is your kids shot a bigger mule deer and a bigger elk than you've ever shot.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
That tells me that they got a great dad that hooks them up and takes them places. No, my dad took me a lot of places when I was younger, but never made it happen. I missed my fair share, but both my kids killed phenomenal
Yeah,
animals.
they had a great year.
Oh, it was off
Super
the chart.
cool year.
And you know what's funny is now both of them are like, okay, well now that I've killed a big elk, so Dad, next year I'd like to kill I think I'd like to kill a bigger mule deer than my brothers. And then my son's like, well, and then I want to go kill a bigger elk than my sisters. And I'm like, OMG. I mean, come on.
You better
We had
get on
this-
the corner, start working, man.
I was
'cause
going to say, what?
At what point are they going to start working?
Oh, my
See, we had this
gosh.
discussion with my dad and I a couple years back about how I've killed a bigger buck than he ever has with his bow in the state of California. And it was the good times are now. To where old guys were reflecting on, back in the day we used to be able to kill this, we used to be able to kill that. But just in recent years are actually these huge big numbered elk, deer, pronghorns, pigs, just you name it. They're actually starting to get put in the books and actually shown and get respect that they deserve and need.
Yeah.
But people were like, oh, well, they used to shoot much bigger. Well, compared to then to now, I don't know if it's different management, different skills, or people just didn't care then.
It's funny because you see some of the photos posted like years ago, like black and white photos of guys that got, these bucks hanging over the hood of a truck. I mean, and they're just,
slobs.
Yeah, they're Arizona strip type
Yeah.
bucks, right? But those bucks still exist, right?
Yes.
I mean, look at the buck we saw, south of Gooddale area or in the Bishop area that was taken from a lion. I mean, that's a buck of a lifetime for that unit, and they still exist, right? It's just you may see them 1 year, and then you may not see them for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, we spent 2 years up there, 2 years and probably over 60 days in that Gooddale area. Over 2 years, weren't there this year, but
Your brother's hunt and your hunt.
yeah, we never saw a deer anywhere near. Well, I hate to say it, but we never saw a deer anywhere near the caliber of the buck that my son shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 60 days of hardcore hunting over 2 years, and scouting. I shouldn't say just hunting because the season wasn't that long. And we never saw anything of the caliber of the deer that my son shot, or the caliber of the deer that we found, on that lion kill photograph.
Do you guys think that there's ever going to be a season again to hunt lions in California? I mean,
No.
Do you think there's ever going to get to a point where they're going to say, okay, our deer populations are at a
That
point
takes
where
a 2/3 majority vote of the actual congressional, and then that's never going to happen.
And I know from the horse's mouth at a hunting convention from Fish and Game that I've actually heard a Fish and Game guy say that if it's up to them, they will never open mountain lion season again in California. Doesn't matter what the deer population gets to.
In other words, if they eat all the deer, we'll have plenty of mountain lions, but we
at
won't
some
have
point,
any deer.
California, they're going to give out 35 tags in Gooddale, but no one's ever going to shoot a quality deer there. No one's ever going to apply there anymore. So you have to wonder, at some point, are people going to stop applying in some of these units because there's just no deer anymore, and then the state's going to lose revenue based on it.
I think it depicts the amount of revenue for that area versus the whole state is minute.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes a dent in there. As long as you buy your hunting license, and we all do, they're still getting their revenue. To where they actually don't give a rat's about the deer population. It's more of a
they manage
control.
people, and
Yeah, that's. You and I had a podcast where we talked about that. It's really in the state of California. They're managing the people. They're not managing the animals.
To where 2 booths down from those actual Fish and Game booth was a guy who went out and tracked and collared mountain lions in the state of California. And he was only issued so many collars. And after he filled 8 collars in a month, he actually had to get donations to buy more and put them and had them on a graph on his computer where they showed month by month each color of each mountain lion going over itself, to where in a teardrop shape, it actually showed mountain lions just overlapping each other's tracks.
in terms of where their territory. And
Their territory, or there's so many square miles per cat. He would have trail cameras on dead roadkill carcasses to where there'd be 4 cats on a kill at a time. And people were like, oh, no, that's a female and her cubs. No, it'd be 2 males and 2 females, or they just were getting along to where they were actually hunting together, or just not caring because there were so many of them to where their territories have basically
overlap
gone
each
out
other
the window. To where
I just think when you look at like the Fish and Game, when they send out any, whether it's reports or like this new 10-year elk report that they just sent out, which is interesting because when you read about it, part of their plan is to up the percentage of elk tags in the next 10 years, which I think is a great thing, because if they don't, elk are going to become a problem in the state of California. But they say they do all of their population counts, from helicopters and aerial, but all their counts are always so conservative. And
I've actually witnessed one of these counts that'll just
Out of Roberts.
Yes.
But it's just incredible. Like
It's
when they like, so we're familiar with La Panza and the San Luis Reservoir area, and of course the Hunter Liggett area, and the numbers of elk that they're reporting versus what we all see when we go out and actually put boots on the ground it's apples and oranges. It's incredible what they report versus what's really out there. And I mean, we're not out there probably a quarter of the time that the Fish and Game, folks and the biologists are out there, and it's just incredible the numbers that they come up with based on those.
I don't understand it. I really don't, because
is honesty a bad thing when it comes to telling the truth?
Well, I had a Fish and Game representative say, "Oh, well, there's 180 elk in this area," and I went, "What?" And I personally sat on one knob with my binoculars and counted over 300 head of elk. And he told me, "Oh, no, there's only 180 head of elk in this area." I'm like, okay, well, I know for a fact that from my one glassing spot, there's no way I could see all the elk. But I counted over 300 head of elk and I was only in one location. And this was in like a 3-hour period over this, and I admit I glass quite a ways, and I'm pretty good at it, and I could see, a couple miles in pretty much a big geographical area, and they're like, "Oh no, there's no way there's 300 head of elk here," and I'm just like, "You guys are smoking crack if you don't think there's 300 head." I mean, they told me there's only 180. That's what their number said.
And I've seen it go the exact opposite way, to where they'll put guys on knobs and go, "Okay, you sit here, and everybody has their knob position." Then they start driving, to get
push out
the elk to where you can actually see them or count them, and you'll end up talking to the guy that was on the knob 3 knobs over earlier, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I saw 16 cows, 3 bulls," because everybody has their tally sheets and everybody was keeping track of what they saw and how many of what if they could identify. And you start talking to everybody, and all of a sudden everybody puts up their things and everybody saw the same exact freaking elk, to where they push them. "Oh, I saw them. I counted them." They go over 2 ridges. That guy sees those same 15, 16 elk, and they just do circles.
So they're allocating for the same herd
yes,
group.
To where, and all the geniuses go, "Yeah, we saw the same herd. You saw the same herd. I heard." You said, "Oh, no. I saw 15 from you. You saw 15. He saw 15.
Okay, let's connect the dots.
You guys saw 45 elk just from your little 3 positions." Yeah. Okay, great. And then we start talking to everybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw those elk push through you, go over to here. We didn't count them until you guys." So their numbers were so far off, and we're like, "So we saw 30 elk today," from my vantage point. You're gonna count that as like 100 elk, because everybody saw that herd,
that same group
blowing up and over, and we're just like, "Guys, come on."
Well, Brad and I were going out turkey hunting a month or so ago when we were driving out by Bradley, and there's a bull on the side of the road looked like it probably hit by a semi, because one side of the branch was completely broke off right at the base, and the other side was still there. He was an old bull. His teeth were all gnarled down, and he had like a webbing, almost like a web 5th and 6th point. But
yeah, it was huge bull,
big body bull. But that's what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to have more problems with them, doing, problems with ranches and farmers, people hitting them on the roads versus us actually, be able to go down and actually hunt them.
Everybody wants the money for them.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, in this state, a PLM tag's going for, what, 25, 30 grand now?
Oh, yeah.
32.
If you shoot a big mature bull, there's some ranches that are 35,000.
And then when you get up north and you're talking about the Rosies, it's the same thing. A lot of over Christmas, on Christmas Day, I went out with my brother and my dad, and we made one lap. We saw over 300 different elk, and there was one group that had 48 bulls in it. 48 bulls. It was phenomenal.
How many tags in Del Norte they give out? 5 or 6?
They give 20. I think they give 25 tags for the Northern California, but that covers basically from the Oregon border all the way past, Ferndale. So most people hunt them in different geographical areas than where I grew up, but that's because all the area that really the elk congregate in are all private. And then a lot of those people are just like what you guys talked about. I mean, they have PLM tags on those ranches, and they're like, you know, oh, even if you draw a tag, if you want to hunt this property, it's $5,000. Or if you want to hunt north of this location, it's $10,000. And you're like, okay, how can a normal guy
Who draws a tag
be able to go up there and spend $5,000 or $10,000? I mean, come on. I mean,
it's
No, you can't.
It's like even on your San Luis hunt when you shot your Thule. I mean, what were trespass fees there on some places?
man, you know, I mean, there was some cool people up there, and I know a lot of people, so that helps. But like, there was one guy. He was like, "No, it's 25. If you want to step foot on my property, it's $2,500." I said, I didn't necessarily have a problem spending $2,500 if I killed a bull.
Or if you knew there was a big bull on his property, maybe.
Yeah, but he wouldn't even let me go and look on the property unless I paid $2,500. So it was pony up $2,500 and take a chance that maybe he has a bull on the property or not. And so I opted for the not side. I mean, once again, you know, it's coming down to that point where I hate to say it, but it's turned into a what's in it for me situation.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, and if you've got elk on your property, I mean, that's a huge investment because, you know, people that are willing to spend, there's people out there willing to spend $30,000 to shoot a Thule elk to complete their, you know, their slam. So
Right.
30, 35 grand's, you know, that's
$32,000.
Yeah, it's incredible.
3 years ago.
That's crazy.
Thule Oak Bull, $32,000.
Hopefully you shot a good bull.
It was a toad.
Yeah.
It was a giant.
Well,
I mean, that's
Still,
awesome
though.
that somebody can.
I'd rather go shoot a stone sheep for that price.
Well, I would rather go buy me a brand new anything
Yeah.
and go, I'll take my $500 and do it on public land and go see what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've helped guide a lot of elk with the Smith guys, you know, on the ranch in Pozo, and it's most of the guys, they're filling the slam, and that's what it takes.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
And
It's gotta
they're
go through
selling them
California.
for $18,000-$20,000, and that's what they're shooting, you know, because they need to fill the slam.
That's just
to
nuts.
draw a tag here in California.
Well, there's only one non-resident tag, so
Yeah.
and that could be anywhere in the state, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck there.
Yeah,
And then most guys, like I said, the slam's got to come through California to get a Thule. But the cool thing about the state is, I mean, a guy could shoot a Rocky, a Rosie, or a Thule in this state, right?
Yeah.
We've got all of them.
The only state to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The northeastern unit's got Rockies. Of course, Del
It's
Norte's got
impossible
Rosies.
almost, but
And then everything like Santa Clara South is, well, yeah, I guess basically Santa Clara in that area south is all basically Thules and
You have some up near the Santa Rosa area.
yeah,
down.
Santa Rosa. That's right. That's
So,
true.
But I mean, that is the beautiful thing about California. It's so diverse. I mean, we've talked about this numerous times. I mean, you have everything from redwoods to deserts to high alp regions. I mean, you've got the ocean. You've got the diversity in the state is phenomenal, and we have all kinds of different species.
Three
you name
species
it.
of elk, three
Yeah.
species of deer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't. People want to diverse the whole Pacific hybrid, versus the blacktail, but to me, there is a defined difference between
Oh, yeah.
Pacific hybrid and a Northern California
Blacktail.
blacktail. There's you can't tell.
Apples
me
and
Technically,
oranges.
there's Rusa deer too, right up in the
Yes.
like north of Hearst Castle area,
Yep.
and
Yes.
like up in the Angeles Forest there.
Aoudad up there also.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen all those killed before.
Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Little
I
teeny
mean,
deer, little antlers about that big, 6 inches
Yeah.
max, and that's a giant.
Yeah,
Yeah, this state is phenomenal. I mean, the species and everything that they have is phenomenal. But the political side of this, and/or the people that, when you say, "Oh man, I was taking my daughter out on her first hunt," and they look at you like you're Satan incarnated, and you're thinking, well, that's a nice pair of leather boots that you're wearing there.
yeah.
Exactly.
Wonder where those came from.
Yes.
Well, in this state of anywhere, it's hard to. You're always on the defensive if you're a hunter. A lot of times, kind of where we live is a little different because, we're in an area that's pretty
diverse,
pro. Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's there's a lot of farms and ranches, and hunting is kind of a way of life for some people. But if you get out of our kind of bubble that we live in, I mean, you can go as far south as 30 miles from here on 101, and you're in an area where if you tell them you're a hunter, you could have problems.
They're going to string you up.
Yeah, it's just we're constantly on the defensive versus like where I grew up or when I go out of state hunting. It's like that's the norm. Like it's so normal to go into a restaurant where you're in your camo and your boots or your hands are bloody. And they're like, honey, there's a bathroom back there. Wash your hands up. Come back. We'll feed you a warm dinner. It's
where
just
they
it's night
take
and day.
opening day of deer season, schools out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
where
because they know that everybody's going to be taking their daughter or their son out of school anyway.
That's how it was when I was a kid.
Hunting,
or every town that you drive in, there's a big sign that says
Hunters
welcome hunters.
Yeah,
that's Colorado to me. When I go into Colorado, Meeker or Montrose, anywhere like that, it's like hunters welcome. Like we want you here because the 2 months that you're here basically gets us through the next 9 months of the year.
Exactly.
Right.
Wyoming the same way. Same way in Utah and a lot of places.
It's like 300% of our license tag fees, gas, food, hotels, everything is what carries 300% of their whole
their revenue stream.
Year.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'd look at a town like Meeker that if it wasn't for hunters there, I mean, it's 1,000 people in that town, but during second and third and fourth rifle season for elk, it's just incredible. I mean, you can't find a hotel anywhere. You go into a restaurant. I mean, it's all about hunting, which is cool. But absent, hunters like us, that place wouldn't survive. There wouldn't be a town like Meeker. There wouldn't be a town like Rifle because that's how those little places basically make it for the rest of the year.
Yep,
is with all the hunters. And 10% of the population actually kill an elk. So it's incredible. You got how many thousands of hunters, and there's only a select few that walk away. The data says about 10% on average in Colorado should kill an elk. So
what was the stat in California? One buck is killed per 7 years of hunter. So I mean, now that doesn't take into consideration.
Because I'm a bad mamma jamma.
Yeah, you killed two during
Somebody
the archery season.
pounded 2 deer.
But then I actually bought 2 tags. I didn't even fire an arrow in.
You didn't give me a call.
Well, what can I say? I was
He's too busy. He's too busy being my rangefinder.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good job of that I did either. But yeah, I mean that has to be taken into consideration. There's some people that are great hunters that are very successful, and then there's some people that buy a tag and don't even go.
Exactly.
But at the same time, 1 deer every 7 years for the state of California. That's like, can you imagine?
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
This was the first year that I have not killed a deer.
You were working pretty hard on the woman, though, to get her one, weren't you?
Yeah, and I was guiding a lot and taking guys out and shooting pigs. But I also turned down a lot of deer. I was really set on shooting a good buck.
I don't do that.
First thing that has a branch on one side, whack 'em,
makes me a
stack
little
'em.
more successful.
I snuck into a buck about 20 yards, and I sent him a picture of it. It was just a little fork.
Yeah, don't shoot.
And you're like, don't shoot.
Abort mission. Get out.
That was going to be my second tag.
I was like, no, wait.
I was supposed to shoot that 18, 19-inch fork, but that wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that.
We don't want. Do we have to read? This is like the third podcast that this has come up on.
That beautiful buck that I was talking about the day before. I was like, oh, he's just
wasn't quite as nice as the next one.
Forks, just the one he shanked.
Yeah,
and missed. Yeah.
Well, we got right in on that other one. Right after we saw him, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
We slipped in there. And
I was just telling you about that really nice, perfectly symmetrical 17, 18 fork and horn I missed earlier that day. I spent 2.5 hours freaking sneaking up on him just to freaking have him duck my arrow. And then
he stood there for a minute broadside looking at me.
Jesus.
Yeah, we should have.
That's blacktail hunting, though. I mean, when I was hunting in Colorado this year and then went back home to Montana, I was telling guys about, hunting deer in California. I said, if it's legal and it's got a spike on one side or it's got a fork on one side, I mean, you have to seriously consider whether or not you want to shoot it or not, because you may never see another
Especially if you're on
buck.
public land
Yep.
with a bow, you better get with it.
Yeah.
And with the rifle, if that buck has a fork, I don't care how small it is, but if it's got a
It's
fork,
getting duped.
It's done.
if you
It's
pass
taking
on
a dirt
it,
nap.
the dude behind you is going to pound it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just that, and that's how it is. That's how I grew up hunting. I mean, we shot a lot of small bucks because that's how it is. There's no going
There's always
in.
someone waiting in line ready
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
hammer
Even
down.
if I can get in there and if I can close the distance and get within my ethical bow range, I'm letting it rain. It's going down to where 1 out of every 10 times is it even going to get to that point
Sure.
Yeah.
to where I can close the distance, have all the cards fall into place, and be able to make a shot. If it even gets to that point to where I try every legal buck. I try.
Well, you're only, it's good practice. I mean,
Swear.
even I've practiced stalking on does just to see how close I can get, I mean,
Yeah.
It's great where we ran into each other. I went in there the next day with him, and I went back in there, and I sat down. I had a doe bed maybe 8 to 10 yards from me. This
Nice.
is my back is against the tree, bow's in my lap. She come closer, I just put the bow up against my face and just didn't move. And she come in, fed, the wind was right in my face, she bed down. And I'm like, oh, why can't a freaking big old buck come in here and
Yeah, exactly.
do that?
well, that night
Exactly.
before was crazy because
Oh, it
you and I
was-
parked.
It was phenomenal.
We get out, we walk, and that wide symmetrical, different wide, well, the one I think you and I jumped out of the creek bed and just sat there and looked at him and I.
Jeez.
And we were like looking at each other like we were going to go hunt this other deer. There was 3 other bucks in this other group. And then we went up and then we stalked in, and I ended up getting a shot on one of those bucks, hit a branch, and my arrow snapped. But it was crazy. Then you and I went out that night. We literally pulled off, parked the truck, and then we were right in on stalking on bucks.
Yeah. No.
I mean-
we went 2 nights in a row, right? And the first night we were on like $3.
Yeah.
Second night we were on a fork and horn, tall fork, and I mean that's public land, like not even on the base. That's
Public land in California. I mean,
yeah.
I was telling him that
does
too.
not happen.
He told me, oh yeah, well I've been seeing a couple of bucks every night. I'm thinking, what? You got to be kidding.
I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
It's an hour drive.
Yeah, but that first night we passed on 2 other bucks on the right side of the road. Remember, you're like, I could sneak in. I said, no. You want to shoot a good buck, right? Yeah. Leave him. Let's go. And you're like, oh, I don't. No, come on, let's go. Shit, I mean, we probably passed on like 5, 6 bucks.
I mean, there was always that spot where you'd get out
It was
and
hot.
basically. Well, it was definitely hot. I mean, this
Welcome
whole
to
summer,
California.
summer was hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was hot, and those deer were there every single
the
day.
night I shot my buck, the first buck that I shot, which was the only buck I shot, but when you came over that
small
night,
one that you shot.
The little bubble guppy buck he shot?
Yeah, that little dinky thing. Yeah. I told him it's going to take him probably 5 or 6 years to kill a really good black buck.
Have you
black-tail
scored that
buck.
thing yet? Do you need
Not
me
yet.
to?
No, it's at Chad's.
Oh, is
Chad's
it?
mounting it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a 110 to 120 inch buck.
I think he's 120s. He's good. He's got good
Yeah, I want to
mass
see it.
time.
I want to
good
see it in
yards.
person. Can't wait to see it in person.
I
Yeah,
know.
he just blows up. He comes out. He's not super wide, but he just comes up and then just keeps going.
Well, he's
And
that
going.
perfectly symmetrical.
Big
3 by
eye
3
guards.
with good eye guards.
Just
Yeah,
the
he's a
biggest
hell of a buck.
fronts too. Doesn't have a little crab. Just
No,
big,
good
perfectly
threes.
symmetrical 3
I'll
by
never
3.
forget that night because Brandon and I had hunted that whole afternoon, and it was 105 degrees, and
Yep.
we were trouncing around that day. It was hotter than heck, and as we were coming out of that unit, of course, look down to the right, and there's 3 bucks sitting there, and if you guys have hunted with Brandon, most of you have. I mean,
Yeah,
it couldn't even be a buck, and he gets excited. I mean,
he could be a spike.
you should have been with him in Montana. He's like, look at that buck. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I bet I showed him probably 100, 150 bucks up there. And the one he shot, he ended up shooting a good buck, but he gets really excited.
Oh, and Gooddale. Holy cow. We couldn't keep him underneath
Well,
the
I'm worried
chain.
whenever he draws that tag.
Dude, it was like,
Gotta hide his bullets.
Big fork and horn, and he's like, oh my God, it's phenomenal. And Brandon, we love you, buddy, but you gotta chill it out
He
a
just
little
just loves mule deer hunting. But it was a hot night. Got the buck down, got him back into town, and Brad came over and we hung him in the garage, and it was still 80 degrees at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it was
Skinned them out, caped them out, got them in the freezer
so
fast.
stinking hot. But that's California archery hunting. You know, when I shot that buck, I sent a few buddies pictures of it, and they're like, "When did you shoot this?" I'm like, "Last night." They're like, "It's July." I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah."
I get the same
That's our
thing.
archery season. You know, most people don't. You know, August is early for them. You know, a lot of times, maybe mid to late August. But this was the first weekend or second weekend in July. We hammered that buck. You know.
Yeah.
Well, getting back to blacktail hunting though, is just as I mentioned before, our predators around here are off the charts. You know,
Yeah.
If anybody
The coyotes
wants to hunt, I mean, black bear right now, man, California and black bear hunting, dude, it's the place. I mean, we have phenomenal bears around here.
How many of you guys bought a bear tag this year?
I didn't buy a bear tag.
Me neither.
I did.
Well,
See, we had plans.
We kind of had a guy that was going to take care of us, and it didn't happen.
My dad's bought a bear tag every year since 1976. Hasn't filled it yet.
My first animal I ever killed with a bow was a black bear.
No kidding.
And now I've killed 3 or 4 of them, and to be honest,
You don't have a desire to
I
kill
don't have
another
a
one,
desire
do
to
you?
kill another one. But my brother went in Northern California to the place that we hunted since I was a 3-year-old, and they saw in 2 days, they saw, I think he said 6 different bear.
Poof.
And he said it got to the point where it was like, finally his buddy that was there had a bear tag. He's like, well, we might as well just shoot a bear. They were trying to kill a deer, but they couldn't find a legal buck. Bear everywhere. I mean, like nuts.
Well, then you and I went up X12 thinking, you know, let's get at least an idea where we're probably going to see some bears, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we saw 300 or 400 deer, didn't see one legal buck, didn't see one bear.
Not one.
And it wasn't even that cold. Like, it wasn't to the point where they would have been hibernating. It was, what was it, early November when we went up there? Late October?
I think it was October.
October.
Early
Like I
October.
said, it was early October, yeah.
So it was like 20 degrees in the morning. It was nice in the day. It was beautiful.
you know,
Beautiful.
though, when you guys went up,
The
and
X12 tag.
This-
Up Bridgeport there, which they normally shoot a lot of bears out of there. Supposedly it's supposed to be good. I'm not a bear hunter. Supposedly they kill some good bears out of it.
But the Eastern Sierras have always
know,
held a lot of bears.
yeah.
But I have to say, guys, this is the first year we have got no snow on the western side, right? So I still believe, and I think a lot of the deer have come down out of those high Alps and that stuff, because the freeze, we've had some frost, and it's killed all the food.
Yeah.
Bears aren't like that, right? Bears will eat just about anything.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of the bears could still be way up there, or they're not as, I mean, as soon as they get a good amount of snow, then everything drops down to lower elevations.
Yeah.
But, this is weird. I mean, you guys have seen all the fires that we've had in Northern California and actually just a few miles south of us here.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and I've heard from
nuts.
some of the biologists that there's bears that don't hibernate. There's bears that stay active year round.
That's what I heard too.
And
Watch the pictures at Lake Margarita.
well, yeah, I especially the bears
Our
around here,
local
no
bears are
question,
here.
they're not
They don't
hibernating around
hibernate
here. But
not
I was
a day.
thinking more of some of the bears up in the Eastern Sierras that they have collared. They say that they're trying to figure out patterns, how long are they hibernating, and some of them don't even hibernate.
Well, they
on
don't
your
have
good Dale
to.
hunt last year, that track that Brandon and I crossed was within a few days. That was one of the biggest bear tracks that I'd ever seen, black bear tracks in my life. And it was only a couple days old. That was December.
And my brother's hunt the year before, they saw a bear, and he says it was the biggest bear. And listen, he's seen some big bears, because you saw the one that we have on that photograph of that looks like it had fit inside that bin of garbage and fill it all up. I mean, he said he saw one absolute smoker bear up there.
And he's still alive too, right?
Yeah. They just kicking along, living like kings. I told you come up at Christmas, we'd
I
probably
know.
be able to shoot
Did you
a
see
bear.
him?
No, we didn't see him, but we didn't try either. It was one of those.
Just throw out a burrito or something. You come down.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's trees, you saw my dad's trees. My dad was not happy. 2 of his fruit trees were completely destroyed. And
Well, and that's another symptom of, I mean, they took dogs away, and when they started taking the dogs away, they've never hit their 1,700 quota. And
Nope.
I haven't even checked at what it is this year, but ever since they took dogs away, they haven't met their quota. And
they won't.
No.
They never will.
No.
And everybody wonders why bears are inside city limits or mountain lions are inside city limits and killing house pets and, you know, raiding people's garbage cans. My brother's bear literally was trained. Garbage day was Thursday. And literally that bear would come down and he would hit 5 or 6 neighbors' garbage cans. And here's how it worked. They literally would open the garage at 6 o'clock because you have to get your garbage can down to the road before the garbage man comes at 7. That bear would come out in between 6 and 7 and hit 3 or 4 garbage cans before the garbage man would get there.
Yeah.
Okay? You're telling me that there's no bears around here?
Same thing when a feeder goes off.
Yep.
You know, you watch these people in Texas where they're like, oh, we won't sit anywhere near a feeder until 30 minutes before it goes off.
Then you hear
because they won't see. Yeah, they hear that. Brr, brr, brr.
All the corn hits the ground.
Yeah.
Because they know. They can be a mile away and hear that clicking noise come from that feeder.
They know.
And they know that's food.
Yeah, they know.
And on a bear hunting here, you can't.
No.
San Luis Obispo County, I think, is the only county, right?
Yeah. Santa Barbara County, you can hunt
and
bear.
there are so many bears here. It's retarded. On the Avenel's Ranch,
it's going to get to a point.
Freaking nuts.
They tried 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They tried 2 years ago to start issuing a limited amount of tags.
It's got shut
for
down.
Sloat County.
Well, they're getting hit on 101, right?
Well,
I mean, people are hitting them on the freeway.
I used to work in Sloat, and between the winter months when they're going back and forth across the grade, I saw 5 or 6 hit just at night, just on my way back and forth to work. CHP would be pulled over.
Jerry hit one. Our neighbor Jerry hit one going to work one day.
Well, come on. Let's face facts. What was on the front page of the paper the day that they were going to do that fish and game, a proclamation thing? That morning before that meeting was on the front page, and here's this pretty little picture of this little black bear baby cub.
Yeah.
And then it said, everybody come to this meeting because they're going to issue bear tags in this area. Oh my God, that place was overrun with people. Oh, you can't kill Smokey the bear.
Well, it's the same issue that's
tree
happened
huggers.
Where was it? Los Osos or Grande, wherever that fox or whatever that was killed. It was killing the chickens. It was with the chickens. Was it your friend or was it your foe? If it was your friend, why did Fish and Game have to come out? And it's just uneducated people that don't know that they can't transplant
it's all emotion.
A fox, a skunk, some opossums. You can't just pick those things up, bring them somewhere else, and let them go. They carry things. They always try to return to their natural place, to where they're just not. They don't fit into other habitats besides where they're at. To where the most logical thing to do, euthanize it, take it out. Get rid of the equation, and it's one fox.
Move on with life.
Move on. Yeah. To where it killed 3 of your chickens. You guys started squalling and hollering. They took care of the problem. Now the whole county is in an uproar because a fox was killed. And
you have to be so careful in what you do anymore, especially around here. I mean, it's one bad move, one wrong thing. I mean, the wrong person sees it, snaps a picture. Yep. You never know.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's talk about, you had mentioned something earlier today about how many photographs of how many animals did you have with RNA? How many?
So I was going back through and reflecting. We're talking about reflection on 2017, and as people shoot stuff or kill stuff with a hat or a shirt on, they always send it to me, which I think is cool. So I was going back through and I was building collages to kind of close out 17 and put out on social media. And I have 5 collages with 16 pictures on each one of something dying or a fish or something with our hat or shirt on it. So it's incredible. I mean, the amount of stuff that dropped this year. I say within our circle, right? Our circle is 8 to 10 people-ish. We've got a group of 4 or 5 guys in Montana. We got a group of 4 or 5 of us out here.
I'm going to need a couple more hats.
Yeah, I tell you. He's a slacker.
Justin's in the clique now. He's got a hat. So now when he starts killing stuff, he takes a picture with the hat. He gets in.
It's going to be like selfie
time.
You do selfies anyway. You just need to call me and we'd start hunting together. And then we
He
can
has a
take
selfie
pictures.
stick.
Yeah. The picture I sent him.
Do you
this
really
year-
have a selfie
yes,
stick?
It's in my hunting pack.
And
OMG.
I gave
the-
him
the buck picture I sent him this year. That was on the
I was wondering how you
website.
took that shot.
with my selfie stick, son.
Because it was kind of one of those, like,
Yes,
you were
I was
like,
this.
you were like,
I was
hot.
like, bow, buck, let's do this.
Hey, smile, buddy. Smile.
yeah. I gave
Selfie stick all the way,
I gave
son.
him a bunch of crap.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I gave him the selfie
last-
stick.
No, last season, right? We
Yeah, we
were
were with
duck hunting.
James.
Yeah, we took a buddy of mine out duck hunting and
Scared the crap out of the ducks. He scared them.
Hey, somebody's got to scare them to make
James
sure that they get a.
he's still learning. So me and Dowling, we just opened up a can of whoop ass on the ducks.
Yeah, we did.
You don't want to shoot? Okay, no problem. Boom, boom, shoot them. So we get done, get on the dike there, and we're sitting there. He's like, hey, let's take some pictures. And he gets in his backpack, pulled out a selfie stick, and I'm like, really? Are you freaking kidding me? He's like, hold on. Click. I'm like, damn, that's
Now
actually
I
kind
know
of a that's a
now
good
I
idea.
know I want to go hunt with Justin.
Because
I
you
always
don't
got-
have to carry the selfie
I
stick. You
always
can
have
make him.
tripods and like decent cameras. Now all you need is a selfie stick.
Selfie stick's all the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've even screwed the selfie stick onto my bow stabilizer and set my bow up against a tree. That way I could get back a little bit and hold the antlers way out so I get a much better picture.
Okay, now you're just like rubbing it in.
Yeah, it works great.
His fork and horns look monstrous. I'm
Yeah,
telling
my
you.
little 13-inch little pinners.
Oh,
Hey,
he
I was
looked,
wondering-
he looked 20 inches.
I
I'm
was
all,
wondering how you got
that's
the
a
angle
stud.
on
You're
that
like,
buck.
No.
I'm a good photographer. Leave me alone.
Yeah. No, but in all honesty, 2017 was a pretty dang good year.
It was.
When you look at the amount of stuff that hit the dirt this year and just the amount of hunts we all went on. And
How many states did you go to?
well, hunted California, hunted Arizona with you, Colorado, Montana. I drove through a hell of a lot more than what I actually hunted in.
Would have liked to hunt it in a couple of those that you drove through too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hunted Montana twice. Went up September, hunted elk, came back, hunted Arizona with you, and then went back up in November and hunted deer again. So we burned some rubber this year. My poor truck put some miles on it and some damage. But
Yeah. What I take away from 2017 more than I have any other year is go with my instinct. To where, I've been hunting a lot of public land my whole life. And you see the guys driving, and you'll see them get a couple deer, and you're like, oh, shit. I'm out here hiking my butt off, doing all this, and I seen 3 deer, and that's it. And they said, oh, yeah, we seen 50 deer today, or this and that, or, like, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I just need to start driving more. And you drive, and it's like, well, this is stupid, and I know.
Yeah, you see them, but
Yeah, I
once
might
they
see
see you
some,
and you
but
see
yeah,
them,
you're not going to
that's
get in on
That's
them.
where I keep going back and forth, and not this year, but last year, it really set in for me when opening day of archery season, I went into a walk-in only public land. Sun came up, spotted a dandy buck, made a stalk on him, got close but no cigar, had a couple coyotes blow up for me. Ended up smoking both those coyotes.
I was
going to
say, you killed them, right?
Yeah,
Good
I
man.
whipped
you,
out the
You
old-
killed 2 earlier today, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, coyote
He's doing
killer.
his share of
He's doing
conservation.
his
He's
share.
helping our fawn
I killed
population.
7 coyotes last year with my bow alone.
Wow.
That's impressive.
To
That
where
is.
I always keep my little squeaky pocket calling right there. That I can just whip it out and make her squeak, and there they
But
come.
I take him coyote hunting. One comes running, almost runs him over.
He's got to talk about the crap that we don't want to talk
I
about.
mean,
right now.
like literally, I
Yeah,
thought I
he
was
does.
thinking he's gonna
Yeah.
wrestle him or pull his knife out or do something cool.
it almost went down.
Kyle
almost,
turned around and ran away, and I'm like, okay,
almost put a chokehold on a coyote.
well, let's see what happened there. Go over to him, hey, what happened? What? Dude, I thought you guys almost kissed.
I called the coyote in too close to where
20
when it's
seconds.
when it's looking at me through the bush, and I'm looking in the distance.
You don't
for
have a
the
pin
coyote,
for that, or
Yeah, no. I don't have a 2
No,
yard
you
pin.
need a freaking grenade or something.
Yeah, it was close.
Pull the pin and just drop it at your toes.
Yeah.
20
I
seconds,
should have took
he
the
lit
arrow
up on the
off the
call,
bow
and that coyote was
and
on him.
whacked him in the head with it. It was that close.
It was nuts. I was in full draw, 60 yards,
Yeah, you're about
something like
60
that.
yards from me.
And I'm like, "Where's Justin? He's right there." And I'm like, "I can't shoot." And I'm like, "Okay." I let down. Coyote runs off. It's like,
Well, as we know,
holy
there is
crap.
a fair share of coyotes in this
Yes.
area.
Oh,
I mean,
beyond.
anywhere you go, anywhere you look, it is incredible the amount of coyotes there are.
I saw 13 coyotes today with my son out just looking for quail and stuff. It was,
So when you think about quail, you think about turkeys, you think about fawns, you
Yep.
think about all
Oh,
the
yeah.
small game.
anything, I've seen them take.
yeah.
I've seen them take down deer.
Yeah.
I've actually witnessed.
Well, you get a
coyotes
pack of
take
4 or
down-
5 coyotes. I mean, there's been
It's done.
videos on social media of them taking down good-sized mature bucks.
Yes.
You know,
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's incredible. It's sad,
calves. They'll kill
Oh, yes.
kill calves.
Oh yeah,
but that's the reality. Is
Yeah.
the coyotes are, they're breeding like crazy, and no one's doing their
Yeah.
share of thinning them out.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
and I've always said, I've told Brad this a million times. I said, man, we just need to grab Jason's call, run out there, and just set up a call and just start dusting coyotes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pound
just for
'em.
the better of our future
Yeah.
for turkey
Well,
hunting and other
and
things that
that-
we like to do.
and I see public hunters out there all the time, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we seen a bunch of coyotes today. Well, did you shoot any of them?" "Oh no, we're deer hunting." What?
So are they.
Yeah,
They're
I'm like,
deer hunting too.
I don't give a crap if I'm in the middle of a deer hunt and a coyote walks out in front of me. He's getting it.
Yeah.
He is getting it. I'm not going to let a coyote go any day of the week. I mean, unless I got that Brennan Crocker standing right in front of me and there's a coyote, I'm actually shooting the buck and then I'm going to the coyote. But besides that, if any coyote is a dead coyote,
Yeah. No, there's
we
there's
gotta
too many.
there's way too many.
We
To where
gotta
if I can
pound
see
'em.
that many in one day,
How many did you see today? 13?
13,
Yeah, that's
and about a 5-hour go.
That's incredible.
That's it.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's too bad because those coyotes, they're not plant eaters.
Yeah.
So,
That, and I also, the bobcats. There's a ton of bobcats where we hunt. And
Wow.
people
They
don't
eat the hell
realize
out of
they're
the quail and
quail
turkey
eating,
and rabbits.
killing machines to where
yeah.
they will knock the dog do out of a hatch of turkey chicks.
Knock
Like, in
the
an
dog do.
Yes.
That might be a new quote that we have to add to the list.
Yeah. That's keeping it censored.
Yeah.
So I don't have to put the
I'm
explicit
yeah,
lyrics on
trying.
the podcast.
I'm trying over here.
Cheers.
The only good thing this year for at least the turkey hatch this year is the grass was high. We had really
Yes.
good rain last year.
Yes.
And I've seen
Everything has
tons
turned
of
over.
turkeys. I mean, Justin, you and I ran into each other, and I was sitting in my truck, and I mean, there was literally 35 turkeys within
Yeah.
150 yards of
yeah.
where I was at, and that's the thing is they know. I mean, they know I was there, but once you start
yeah.
to break the distance, they're like, "Oh,
What do you think
he's
you're
at 100."
doing? Yeah.
Okay, now he's at 75. Okay, now he's getting closer. They are smart for having a
Yeah.
little pea brain sized brain,
Yes.
but yeah, the populations of turkeys, quail this year has been phenomenal. Everywhere you go, there's quail just
And-
blown up everywhere.
You know, with not having any rain this year, I'm thinking futuristically.
Yeah.
Last year was such a good year for us for the first time in 10 years, having cover and having everything else, and now all of a sudden, I mean, okay, we're in San Luis County. I saw the stats so far, guys. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention.
Not much
but
rain.
We just hit 0.5, so a half of an inch for the year so far, guys.
Ooh,
I mean, yeah. Well, we got 4/10 the last
sprinkle
little
dinkle.
sprinkle that they called rain. We don't even have an inch of rain yet this year. So, I mean, you can look around even in the backyard and in the hills around here, right around the house.
It's drier than a popcorn fart.
Yeah, it is.
Why do you think we're ablaze in the middle of coming into January?
October,
And
November.
we got
is just
huge
been-
fires.
We got
Yeah.
huge fires burning down California.
So what's that going to do in regards to our hatch for this year and
Well,
and
it's scary because I mean, look at what the animals feed on, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's nothing for them to feed on right now. And I'm thinking
right now
about the
there
deer
should
and
be
the
green
elk.
grass right now that these deer
Yep.
and all the animals should just be thriving on, and it's still just dead grass. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
there's-
the deer and elk, of course, digestive systems and being pregnant and
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You're going to go to some abortions, and these does aren't going to have their fawns because they just can't carry them because they're
and the pigs,
under nutrition.
Brad, I mean, this was a phenomenal pig year. I mean, man,
it was awesome.
It was off the charts in regards to that. Now all of a sudden we're going back to a drought. I mean, how is that? I mean, we had talked about the reservoirs, that we had seen, almost completely bone dry, and then all of a sudden last year we're like, oh my gosh, look at all the water here.
Yeah.
And
Dry
where
again.
there's really. So where's that going to put us for our animal?
well, the hope is that 2018 brings us some wet weather. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the hope.
we need it now.
We
need it now for sure.
Fortunately, last year and part of this year and late part of 16 is we got a lot of water, so the lakes were able to fill up, and the water table filled up to where people were basically in drought situations. But we need another somewhat subpar year like we had last year to hopefully rejuvenate some of these animals.
Because we may still have water in some of the reservoirs and the lakes and the streams and that kind of stuff, but that doesn't help us with the forage that all these animals need. And I think about the Sierra Mountains, right? There's no snow up there, guys. I mean, there's no snow up there. I mean, that means, there's not going to be a big germination of the plants, and everything's going to be
Where we
struggling.
got a big help, where we like to hunt a lot, is last year there was so much water everywhere that instead of the animals, turkeys, quail, deer, pigs, being concentrated to certain areas due to the only water sources being around, that it actually gave them a break. They were able to...
Well, they could just move a couple hundred yards and they were at water,
Everywhere. They could go where they normally weren't before, where there's plenty of water, plenty of food, to where the hunters, which I know very well, had a hard time last spring hunting even the turkeys. Because
there's so much water.
there was so much water to where I was going to my honey holes where this is where they are every single year. They don't move between this little quarter-mile area. They're in here, and I wouldn't see nothing. And I'd go 2 miles where I'd never see them, never seen a turkey or a pig in my life, and poof, there'd be flocks of them and groups of pigs.
Well, there was
and I'm
water
like,
in
what the
riverbeds that we haven't seen in 10 plus years.
Yeah,
I mean,
to where
there was running
was
streams
great.
of water that, like I said, in my time here, I've never seen water. I mean, it was the first time when I moved to California, I couldn't believe that you actually had dry riverbeds, because everywhere I grew up, if there was
It's all underground.
if there was a riverbed, there was water in it. I mean, that was just normal to have a stream, a creek that had water in it. And I came here, it was like you're like crossing over a bridge and it's like dry, but that was normal.
Yeah,
that was that's how it was here. But last year or this year, I mean, there was water everywhere you looked. I mean, driving home from work for me on 46, I mean, everything from basically Jack Ranch home, everything had water in it. Chelam Creek had water in it. Everything out at Jack Ranch had water in it. I mean, the elk, everything was green. The elk
in
had
10
plenty.
years, you hadn't seen a drip
Haven't
running
seen
through
those
areas.
running.
Yeah.
I've never seen, the creek that runs through Shandon have water in it. And it was basically, I mean, you could see where the water was turning
flowing.
over the rocks. I mean, it was incredible. And you're right. When an animal may only have to move a couple hundred yards to get to water versus having to stay concentrated within 2 miles of one area to find one patch of water, that's different for them.
And everybody knows it.
It changes
and
their
everybody
behavior.
was pounding those areas. And this last year, they got relief because, I mean, a little pocket in the bottom of a hillside had water in it, to where there were deer, there were turkeys, there were quail, just everywhere you drove. And it was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So with that being considered, then I mean, if we don't get any moisture,
They'll end up drawing back right
back
to
to
their
the-
funnel
Concentrate
spots
to the areas that have a little bit of water.
well, and now we're going to have to figure out the food sources, because the food sources, in my opinion, are going to be a big issue. And for hunting purposes, for thinking futuristically,
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't get some moisture Which this area a lot of times
we're gonna get some rain.
The April-May showers around here are pretty consistent.
We're going to get some rain, but
Yeah.
the question is it going to be consistent? Is it going to be just dump like it does and then
And goes
none
away
of the water,
for a month, and then
all the water goes in the river and goes away, or is it going to be a steady stream of rain? I mean, that's the thing. We just don't know what it's going to get. I mean, we've had a lot of fires, so when you have fires, now you bring in rain, you have erosion issues, so the water doesn't really do anything for you.
Thinking about the fires too. I mean, of course, being a hunter, I think of all the years that, when I was growing up as a kid, we had a place we called the Burn. Okay, well, it burned in the 70s, right? It was the best. It was the hot spot, hunting spot, period. Now, thinking about that, I've never ventured south of here, but I'm thinking of all that space down there. I'm wondering, okay, well, is there public land, and what is that area going to look like?
Yeah.
I mean, the potential of
2
new
3
hunting.
years, all that green growth, all that fresh start, sprouting
could
up
be
everything.
a couple years or less. I mean, if they actually get some rain.
Well, I mean,
The scary thing is if they do get rain,
a lot
what
of
can
rain,
happen
too.
though?
But that stuff hasn't burnt in 50 years, and now all of a sudden,
more.
Let's face facts. There's animals there, right? There's always been
yeah.
animals there. It's just
Hopefully
you can't
they
see
survived. Yeah.
them. If those animals survived, which I'm sure they did, or even the animals that went outside the
most of
burn
them, yeah.
are going to come there now. Once the green starts greening up, now it's going to actually be a place where we could actually potentially hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of it from a hunter standpoint of,
fire's
man, we
not a
need
bad
to
thing.
either we need to find places
eye
that
on
give
it.
us access, or we need to, do a little research, because the next state record coastal blacktail could come right out of that area. Lucas, you and I have talked about the burn area that happened a couple years ago just north of here, and how right afterwards, there was some phenomenal deer taken out of there.
Yep.
And that area, in my opinion, is probably just going to go into its prime for hunting. So it's another area that we need to kind of think about.
Yeah.
And figure out.
That's always the thing with a burn. I mean, that within, a couple months, if you get water, green grass is going to start to, grow back in. But within a few years is really where I think you start to see the maturity of the animals. Elk love burns. I mean, anytime when I look, when I go into Montana every year, I'm looking, okay, what areas burn? Are there areas that I've hunted around? And if they are, I'm going to definitely check those areas out, because there's always animals in those burned areas. I mean, that's
where
just
my dad
Yeah.
brought
Deer
me
the
up
same
and raised
way.
me. He said, "Hey, always looking burns.
Yeah.
I don't care if it just burned."
previous year burns is a huge
My
advantage.
dad's a retired CDF, and he's been on fires where it'll burn. They'll be putting it out, going back for the mop up to clean up. He goes, there'll be deer that you wouldn't know there was deer in the area standing in the ashes, just standing there, not giving a dang.
They love the ash too.
Am-
They want
Amber's
to get
hunt.
the
Rolling
ash
it.
and roll
They're rolling it.
around. It
Helps
kills all the fleas and the
fleas and
ticks off of
ticks.
them.
And he goes,
Well,
"I
and
love it."
we just this last year in Arizona.
Yeah, we had
burn
the burn.
happened. We went up there. You and I went up there, and
That's where all the elk were.
That's where all the elk were.
Yeah.
They were literally in the fresh burned
And they
area.
had had a monsoon like a couple weeks prior to us getting there, and it rained a little bit when we were there, and that grass was greener than green. I mean, when we were there, and they were
A
just
couple
they were
inches
eating
tall,
that up.
and they were just mowing it down.
They were loving
I
it.
think about the pigs too, Brad. I'm like, that area, just south of here, I'm thinking, oh my God. There's always been pigs in there, but you could never hunt it because you could never see them.
Yeah.
Now all of
Yeah.
a sudden, with that all burned out and it being cleared out, man, that might be some great opportunities for us to get in there and find some.
It's Padres Forest, so
And one thing too is people don't realize is our national forest, the ground that we get to hunt, is the god awful worst country you can
In
think
the
of.
world.
Yeah, it's 'cause
It is huge
thick,
brush that's 20 feet high,
Yep.
and you can't see in there if
you
if
can't
you want
crawl
to.
through it either.
No, I've tried it, done it, and it's screw that. But when that burns, that is some of the best hunting around. I never got to experience that because I was too young. But when the grade burned, and then when La Panza burned,
Oh yeah.
I remember my dad coming back with his buddies, bucks loaded up in the truck.
Yep.
The burn over Garcia Ridge over by Margarita Lake. my dad and my grandpa going up there. They're like, oh yeah, we saw probably 25 buck shot just tonight. Like, the hell?
Wow.
Yeah.
3 get taken out of their year on a good year when it was thick as brush because you
you
can't
can't
them standing in the road in order to see something.
Yeah, and
you're like, well, your odds are
you
thin
see
to
them
none.
standing in the road and they take one step and they're gone.
gone.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just something interesting to think about.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful place to live, but a lot of the hunting we got is pretty crappy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
My
the reason
buddies
we
from
go
up north,
nowhere.
I had some buddies that moved from up north down here. I took them out to our forest, and they were just like, "You got to be crapping me right now. Like, this is your forest?" I'm like, "Yeah, isn't she beautiful?" And they're like, "Dude, we need to take you home to us."
Yeah.
I went up there with them. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, as far as you can drive in either direction, is leave our hometown, you're in the forest.
It's totally different forest, though.
You're in
It's just a different forest.
And
Yeah.
they're just like, we don't have to pay for our forest. He couldn't believe it. He moved down here and he goes, what's that you're hanging on the rearview mirror? So it's my venture pass. It means I'm allowed to go on the national forest. And he goes, you have to pay to go on the national forest that you pay for?
On your land.
And I said, yeah. And he goes, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He goes, thank God I was never born and raised here. I was like, yeah, well, you get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't believe that.
Painful.
Got to have your adventure pass.
Yeah.
Go out to Pozo, and you got to have your adventure pass out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, guys, 2018. What do you guys got? What do you guys got on the docket for 18? I know Jason and we're going to be hitting trade shows here. We're leaving for Dallas next week. Going to go to Dallas Safari, and I'm going to head up to the Wild Sheep Show and Western Hunting Expo, and a lot of different shows going on. What do you guys got going on?
Arizona. I leave for Arizona in 11 days.
Oh, you bum!
Yeah. Finally get to go hunt some muleys.
Nice.
Stick and string, right?
Yep. Oh, over-the-counter bow tag.
You got them. You got them already lined up. You already know where the bucks are at, or
Nope. Nope. Just go over there and wing it.
that's okay.
Figure it out
Sounds
on
like
the
the best
fly.
laid plan.
Get up on a big old hill and start glassing. I'll
Yeah.
find them.
Arizona's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it off with some duck hunting on the 3rd.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Duck hunting. Man.
You are a raging duck hunter. Both of you two.
Yeah. I love my archery.
I can't.
I love my duck
I can't
hunting.
seem to get into it.
I could have
you haven't
took him
hunted
to
with
a
the
club.
great.
I could have took him to a club last weekend, and he turned it down. He's like, I'm just really scared to get into it. And I said, don't worry.
Scared to love it.
Don't worry. You're
Yeah, that's all I need is another hobby.
Yeah, you were too busy to get into it.
That's what he told
You just
me
need to
about turkey
experience
hunting.
about it.
Oh, just come with me.
Yeah.
Come with me. I'm like, I don't want to go turkey hunting. I might like it. I got too many vices as it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
duck hunt though. That's
love
a
it.
whole nother.
It is
It's
completely 180 from archery deer hunting or archery hunting in just general. That was a whole new kicker into it. Everything that you know about bow hunting or sneaking or
Throw it out the window.
throw it out the window. Change your whole gear
Your
setup.
tactic is all different.
Your tactic is
Yeah.
so off the wall.
Yeah.
And it changes just like during a deer season. It changes during duck season to where you change your decoy spreads. You got to change your whole tactic. Sometimes you throw 3 decoys out. Sometimes you throw 500 freaking decoys out. Like it just
Sometimes you call. Sometimes you don't call.
yeah.
It's
Throw your motion decoys out there. Do not put any motion decoys out there. It's just a
Yeah.
thing of the wind.
This
The
is like
season changes to where
Spanish
early
to me
in the
right now.
season, late in the season, tactics change.
if you guys want to go elk hunting, we can
We could talk about tactics.
we can talk about elk
I'm
hunting
going
and
to try to do
tactics.
that
and-
in Colorado in 2018.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an addicting thing. I mean,
Colorado, you can buy over the counter. You can go
Yes.
archery hunting all you want.
I duck hunted as a kid, and I mean, I duck hunted all the time because, of
You're
course.
the coot slaying.
Yeah, oh man,
SOB,
you name it. if it flies, it should die. But I mean, once again, you do what season allows you to do. So when deer hunting ends, you switch over into killing birds, and when bird season gets a little slow, then you switch over into fishing. But I kind of stopped duck hunting, and then I got into big game, and then I'm kind of like whole heart everything in.
Well, application season starts
my God.
next week.
I was
Arizona opens, Wyoming opens.
That's what I was just thinking about. I mean, financially, my war chest is a little on the light side since the kids burned most of my money this last year.
That's okay. There's always money for applications, though.
God, I got to figure all that out. But
Problem is when you start drawing some of these tags, and it's like, okay, I'm not getting that $1,000 refund now.
yeah, well, that's funny that you mentioned that because literally that's kind of where my, for 15 years I had plenty of money, and all of a sudden then I drew a sheep tag, and then you draw this elk tag, and then you draw that mule deer tag, and then you draw a couple more, and then all of a sudden you're like, that money that you used to get back every year, it went away.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what you want to. I mean, that's what you
That's the
want. Is
goal.
you want to draw these tags.
I'm going to draw this next year. I haven't decided what I'm going to draw. Jason's going to
have
actually.
options.
Jason's going to physically have a tag this year. I was debating on a goat. I was debating on Colorado because I think I got plenty of points to draw a Colorado goat tag. So I was debating on doing
You
the
got
Colorado.
max points in Montana too, don't you?
I'm max points on deer, goat, and moose in Montana.
And sheep too, right?
Sheep,
Sheep, goat, and moose.
Sheep, goat, moose. I'm max points in Montana. I always try for that, but Montana. Once again, that's
Slim.
the whole. That's
Well,
the
you
holy
could
grail.
Yeah, but there's some units with max points you could draw a goat
I
tag.
could.
You're just trying to put in for the primo units.
Yeah, I'm being very.
He wants
picky.
a big Billy.
The next thing I got to do is get you guys to pick up a recurve for a longbow.
See, I've been talking about that for a long time.
I did it 2 years. Well, I've had my bow for 5 years, 6 years now. I had my recurve for about 6 years now. I dinked around with it, shot it, but as far as we know, the hunting public land, period.
You got to
Like,
have
you
every
need
advantage you
everything,
can.
yeah.
Oh
So
my God! Like
you want it to be
screw
able
the
to shoot.
recurve. I need to grab my compound because there ain't no way I can hardly do it with my compound bow. But 2 years ago, I drew the A33 tag, which is that late season either
Monterey
sex
tag,
hunt.
yeah.
And I was like,
Now
I'm
that was a limited. How many people have that tag?
25.
So once again, there you go.
It's late season, the rut's in, and I was like, you know what? I'm bringing out the recurve. I'm bringing the compound just in case Daddy Wampus wants to step out, but I'm going to try to do it with the recurve. I must have snuck up on 50-plus deer with that thing. No joke. And what it did for me is it brought that whole new ball game of actually bow hunting. To where
Brad's
Sure.
over there. Not
know,
at that stage yet.
I brought the
screw that.
I like killing stuff with it.
50, 60 yards all day long. But I need to get them into
25,
20,
30.
25 yards to where
20's lethal range.
to where I practiced out and out as far as I could, but I just didn't feel really comfortable at that 35, 40-yard range. There's no way. Unless it was like the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life, maybe. But I wanted to get in close to where I had so many blown stalks to where every time I got closer and closer and closer, just playing the wind, getting everything to where I finally put it together on a doe to where I snuck in. I laid down on my belly for about 15, 20 minutes. When I leaned up, she was gone. I thought, oh, crap, I just blew it. I come to my knees, come all the way up. Yeah. I get ready to stand all the way up, and I look, and she's 6 yards. Broadside.
That's cool.
Has no idea I'm there. Come to full draw and let her have it. To where I felt like I had just shot in the biggest buck of my life. I jumped
Sure.
up and down. I smoked her. She ran 60 yards and piled up, and I was just
Elated.
just beyond. I was jumping, screaming. My buddy could hear me from the truck a mile down, yelling or hooting, hollering. He was like, "What the hell? Did you shoot a buck?" I'm like,
What'd I tell
shot
you?
a doe. I shot a doe. It's the greatest
What
thing
did I tell
in
you,
the world."
Lucas? I was like, I'm thinking about buying myself a takedown recurve. I always wanted to have one as a backup plan anyway, but
It's just it
Look
I
at-
don't,
look
I don't
at-
have that.
It-
I
look
don't
at-
have that urge, but
you give him 10 years, he'll get there. He's in whack and stack mode right now too.
But it was
I think it's
fun.
cool the
It
guys
was-
that go trad. I mean, I think it's
was
a whole different
fun.
element of archery hunting, but
I'm just not there.
no. I love technology. I love the newest, coolest bell and whistle. I love having something that will tell me the exact yardage and dial it up, and that's just me. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I pull up on a deer at 20 yards, I'm not going to go, oh, I wish I had a recurve. And pull back the compound bow and let her have it.
Pull back that bolt action.
I'm down. Yeah. I'll get the boom wop out. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just a recurve would be fun, but
It's a different ball game.
that compound bow though.
It
still,
is.
No,
You're going to be PO'd and disappointed 99.9%.
Well, you're going to be a better
of the time.
hunter hunting with trad stuff than you are, clearly. I mean, just
Or you'll have more opportunities to fail.
yeah.
Oh, and there wasn't a single time that I wasn't going, I should just freaking, what the hell am I doing? My compound sitting right there in the truck, 500 yards away.
Yeah,
I
but
could've
if you
just
go
shot
to
this-
that, then you're never going to kill anything.
Exactly.
It's just like,
and that's what I did.
if you have the
just
option to shoot some with a rifle, but you got your bow in your hand, you're gonna
Exactly.
gravitate to the rifle.
Yep.
And that's
And that's what I did. I had to
Still
let,
should have shot that big forked horn with that 25-35. Darn it. When we were up in Goodale.
told you.
I know. Even after I came out of
Or
that
you-
mountain and you were like, let's go. We still have time to get over there and you can shoot that big forked. I'm like,
was
I'm
still
fried.
shaking.
was that big old freak nasty old looking forked horn you sent me a picture of?
Yeah.
it just went like
should've.
straight out.
Or
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
the
no
vote.
problem.
Or he should have shot the buck that he shot at the day before at 240 yards when we're walking up after we crossed this
strikes.
gnarly creek that
I
I
had
almost
already
died
seen him
in.
twice before then. Brad was like,
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you might want to shoot that buck, Jason. We looked at it. He's like, oh, well, he's not 30. I'm all, yeah, but he's like 24, 25, but really tall, heavy, 3x4.
Everything going on.
No. Okay.
hey, I'd already been there.
We go up this huge old mountain, which was awesome. I'm really glad that we did, and end up seeing that big 3-pointer down on the bottom. It was probably 28, but he was just a 3. Jason's like, no, and I'm like, okay, let's go to
Just
the next
28.
one.
Yeah, that's all? Are you kidding me?
Go.
I was max point holder.
That's a 15-year tag.
I did not come there to shoot any of those deer. I'll be real honest, that whole trip, I didn't see one deer that tripped my trigger. Not one.
That's okay.
So I was pushing the limit. I mean, literally, we were getting ready to back out. And go kill that forked horn with the old lever action. When my other buddy said, "I found him," literally, we were at that stage where it was like, okay, we're bailing. We're going to back out of here. And then we saw that deer and we made the stalk and I thought I'd killed him, but that didn't work out so good for me. But that happens.
Yeah.
That's hunting.
Yep.
I mean,
It
if you
is.
haven't had that disappointment yet, wait, your turn's coming.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening that's thinking, oh, man, that sucks. It does. It sucks.
Yeah.
It does suck, but
it
most of us
wasn't
have
a
all been there.
It was not a lack of effort. We put a lot of time in. We hunted a lot of spots.
We hammered it,
Glassed
man.
a lot of deer.
Yeah.
10 days for me
There
of
wasn't
hunting,
many
not
deer
counting,
that we didn't not see in
not
that area.
counting spotting days and scouting days, and I mean it was. I was pretty tired.
Yeah, you were whooped when we got there, and you were sleeping in the back of the truck.
See, and that's where it comes in hard for me. I have 4 kids, full-time job. I don't get all this time going out to our spots and scouting them and looking and looking. Most of the time, it's like I get maybe 2 weekends a couple months before just to go out and look. And in those months, period, they change. They change their whole dynamic of how they are going to run their ship.
Oh,
the
yeah,
deer
from
around
velvet
here,
to hard antler,
they
they're
know.
totally different.
Once that week hits, when they start shedding, it's you might not ever see them again.
Well, it's just funny watching deer behavior when they're in velvet. I mean, the way they change their body when they walk through brush and how they move their antlers, and they don't want to be in brush.
They don't
want to
touch anything. Yeah,
it hurts them. But once they go hard antlered, they're just a totally different creature.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nocturnal, and if you even see them during the day, it's. I mean,
and that's where I have to, like I said, in 2017, that's what I learned the most is just go with my gut instinct. Go with, I know this is where deer like, or, these patch of trees. Like I was saying earlier in the hunt where those coyotes blew it. I shot those 2 coyotes with my bow, squealing on my rabbit in distress call. Shot the first one. It barrel rolled past me because it was running at me. Then called again, called the second coyote into 50 yards, shot him. It ran off. I went out and put my bow down, picked this coyote up, dragged him back, was setting up my selfie stick to take a picture. And all of a sudden, as I'm propping the camera up, I look right where I just walked in that 4-foot-tall grass underneath these big oaks. And all of a sudden, there's a doe standing there. And I'm like, what? Where did you come from? So I grab my binos, I peek up, and in the grass, I see this rack sleeping. You can see its head just bobbing in the grass. And I went, no, my God, did I just walk 40 yards from this toad buck, public land,
Jeez.
no bow in my hand, and didn't know it. So I'm crawling back to grab my bow next to the coyotes. I come back, and about that time, that doe is not having it. She's like,
Sure.
no, I see you. She starts walking away, and I'm like, yes, just walk away. She walks away, and as she's going away, of course, she starts bounding off. The buck stands up. I go, oh, my God, I got to make the shot now. And I ranged him, shot. He ducks my arrow to where, ironically, I hit him right in the base of the antler, to where when he ducked, he turned into the arrow, runs off, and I see the arrow just sticking outside of his antler. And I'm going, oh, my God, no way. No.
Now that would be a serious trophy,
Wow.
even for a rifle hunter to get that bear.
Okay.
That deer.
The story gets better.
It's great mount.
To where these little group of oak trees, there was only 6 oaks, big oaks, but they were dropping acorns like no other. To where my buddies told me, oh, give it up. Blah,
Stop
blah.
and eat.
You know, the next morning I went right back in there. You know, I'm sitting
Same
underneath
place.
those oaks, seen a couple does. That's it. I hunted that same spot, those same trees, for 6 weeks, every weekend. I'm like, not giving it up. Like, I know these deer want to come in to these oaks. They're like, and every time it was, you're wasting time, wasting your time. What'd you see today? What'd you see today? Nothing. A doe, 2 does. 6 weeks to the day, I'm sitting there underneath those oak trees. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to give it one more last shot. It was on a 3-day weekend. I don't know if it was Memorial Day or what it was. But it was Sunday. I'm sitting there, and it's, you know, I'm watching the sun, and I'm like, come on, it's going down. Come on, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Bewitching hour.
Yes, exactly. And all of a sudden, I just look up, and I go, oh, my God, there's a buck standing there. Don't move. I bring the binos up, and I can tell it's the smaller forked horn that this buck liked hanging out with. And he comes walking in, comes right into the oak trees, and I look back, and I see this white face staring at me in the brush. He's checking the area. It's the same buck I had shot in the antler 6 weeks ago. Comes right in.
Arrow still in him?
No, it was broke off to where I shot him at 40 yards, pinwheeled him, just drilled him. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? Like, no way did that same buck 6 weeks later come into
back
the
to the same
exact
spot.
same trees that I shot him at and hit him to where you'd think, oh,
I'd never go
he's
back
gone.
to that
He's
location
gone.
ever
Yeah,
again.
He's gone.
Never coming back
Never
here
come
again.
back. But it was just like, no, my gut instinct told me, go back. Like, just wait. And it worked out. And it was the same thing this year to where I'd seen a couple deer before where I shot the buck this year at 87 yards and went into that area and sure as crap, here comes the little forked horn, which I was going to take. And no, behind him, 200 yards, here comes big boy walking
Wow.
back, and I snuck it in and let him have it.
That's awesome.
It was just do what you think you got to do. Don't.
Follow your instincts.
Yeah. No, it's totally true. I mean, those deer do change behaviors throughout the different parts of the season, but they're creatures of habit, though, too.
Yes.
I mean, as much as you think they're going to blow out of certain areas, you know, if there's water or feed there, you know, I would say at least 5 times out of 10, you got an opportunity to get back on that deer again, you know.
And especially where it was a walk-in only area to where it was limited to the traffic. And where it was, I'd never seen another guy
Oh, that helps.
walking that far in there. To where, yeah, they'll hang out close to the road. They'll park the truck next to the road and walk in,
200
500 yards and make their hunt and end up out. Well, where they were was just another half mile further in
Wow.
to where there was not a road anywhere around. to where if you do push them, they're going to go into the heart of that area to where I just played my instincts and let it go.
That's
and it
awesome.
worked out.
That's cool, man.
That's nice.
Well, boys.
Frickin' Brad's going hunting in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
He's already killed a donkey of a deer with his bow.
Yeah, Arizona. See if I can do it again. I don't know. I was just lucky on that one.
Take luck. Luck
Oh, yeah,
works.
no,
I love luck.
I take it,
5%
man.
of the time, you put it on your side.
I take it, man. It was
Most of it's skill and most of it's scouting, but there's an element of luck in there too.
yeah. That was a bitchin' night. That was really, really cool.
Those are the ones you don't forget.
Nope.
Well, that deer that my boy got, we spotted him 6 days earlier, and then spotted him 2 days after that, and then spotted him the day before we killed him, and then spotted him the day that we killed him. I mean, it just, got to get... You find one, you got to stick with it. Actually, I think I sent you a picture, and you're like, go kill that sucker.
Yeah, kill him.
Go back to that same thing. You got to find them first. Once you find them, then
Yep.
helps you. If you know there's a good one somewhere, you got to stick with it. Got to put your time in.
Yeah.
So,
Cherish the times that you're out there.
amen.
That's what I told Brandon. I said, take all this in, even though it's colder than hell right now. I said, when we're back working in the office, I said, the one thing you're going to think about is being back, hunting all these mule deer. So,
wishing you were freezing your butt off again.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for those cold nights, nasty nights. In Colorado, I spent one night on the mountain. It was like single-digit degrees, and my sleeping bag popped open, and I still think back at that. I'm like, that's still better than sitting in my office working. As cold and as terrible that night was, I slept maybe 1 hour, but it was still worth it. It was still fun, right? Well, guys, we're going to close out. I think we've been ranting for almost an hour and a half. That's pretty good.
Jeez.
That's not bad for us. We could probably keep
Don't
going.
worry, nobody's
yeah.
ever going to hear the ending of this because the
Most
reality is
probably-
they gave
shut it
up
off.
45 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
You'd be
What are those
surprised.
guys doing?
You'd be surprised. But I just want to say thanks to you guys, one, for coming over tonight. I had to bribe you to
Oh,
come
yeah, it
over
was rough.
Yeah.
with the food.
We're,
but-
we're doing that again on
Come on,
Tuesday,
always
right?
come over here.
yeah, Brad's
Tuesday.
here a lot. Jason's here quite a bit.
I live right down the
Justin's
street.
inaugural. Really?
Yeah. I live over off of Melody.
Well, we're neighbors.
Yeah.
Damn.
We need to do it more often.
I live a long ways away, as you
Yeah.
figured out when you made
he's
the
got a
move.
long
You
drive
can stumble
tonight.
your ass over there.
Yeah, Jason always shows up. Just about every single time I pull up, Jason's like, "Oh, Brad truck's down there."
That's because Brad calls and says,
Here it
"Hey,
comes.
can you come help me pack crap out of Lucas's house and put it in the back of my truck?" I'm like, Lucas
one
isn't even
time-
here. What's up with that?
One time,
Yeah, you got the
Friends and
code to his
favors.
house? Yeah, I could get into his house. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I'm just taking this with me, too.
The house
Yeah,
is usually
exactly.
open anyway.
Oh, look at some brand new XD camo.
It's amazing how that stuff works. Wondered how he got that shirt. Exactly. Smack talking. Well, you can turn off the recording now, and then we
Hey,
can
there's
get
a
to the real
website. You
story.
can go to your website and buy anything you want.
yeah.
That's right.
I got my logo on, don't
Yeah, you're a Sika man.
I? Oh, he actually said it. I didn't figure he was allowed to say it on his podcast. That'll be one of those beep.
Yeah, it's
okay,
okay.
that company.
It's all good. Equal opportunity, right?
I wear them both.
Yeah.
Wait, who killed more this year?
Well, sure wasn't me. I didn't kill nothing.
Sitka or XD?
Like I said, I was sitting behind some pictures, but so was he.
Yeah.
Good days. Good days.
Sat behind a lot of pictures this year.
It's okay.
I didn't have the selfie stick, but you know.
So some
you have to
just
check
something to
that
add to your hunt. Didn't we go pig hunt that morning?
Which morning?
The morning that you shot your deer. Didn't we pig hunt?
Yeah. And then I told you, I said, hey, I'm going to go deer hunt tonight. You
Yeah.
want to go deer hunting?
So the night before, I fished an all-night tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Came home, slept an hour, got up because we had hunters, 4 of them. Shot our pigs, we're done.
Opening day of deer season.
The opening day of deer season. And then I decided, I was like, I need a nap. Like, I have to.
I'm going to
done.
sleep.
Yeah.
Like about an 8 to 12 hour nap.
No, because it was kind of a long morning. It had some animals to take care of and stuff, and they were here. I take a nap, wake up, I talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, just hang out at home. We're gonna go and scout, and we'll go in the morning." Like, God, I don't know. I kind of
BBD.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm like, all right.
I might have that text.
I'll chill. I'll just hang out.
He's over there laughing.
Freaking 3 hours later, I get a call. Dude, I shot the biggest buck of my life. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
In the middle of your nap, right?
Oh, I was awake, well awake. You freaking kidding me? Dude, he was freaking out on the phone. It was hilarious. That's the most excited I've ever seen Lucas.
Killing a big blacktail buck?
A stud.
He was all over the place. I'm like, okay, so am I driving out? I don't know yet. I'll just call you back. Dude, don't leave me hanging.
You're like, send me a picture, and I was
Yeah.
like, click.
I was like, oh, dang, I'm on my way. I'm putting pants on. I'm freaking ready to go. He's like, just meet me at the house. He beat me here. I get here, I'm like, holy shit, don't touch it. Let me cape this buck out. Don't screw this up.
That's a good deer.
Yeah,
I got the
that's a
text.
stud.
BBD.
It's a stud.
That was a hell of a weekend, though.
I think
still
he
slept
sent
in.
me the text. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, look at the buck Lucas just shot. And I was like, where the hell did you get that? I was like, what? I was like, not in the area I'm hunting. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, that was.
I told him it would be years. Now it's going to be years for him to top it. That'll be the challenge.
Especially on public land. Even with a rifle.
Yeah.
I don't know
That
if
thing
we
is
can.
a toad.
If he and I draw the Covelo hunt next year, we could potentially
See,
top
but I
it.
can consider
that's
that.
different-
That's a
different, yeah.
Pacific hybrid that he shot. That
Yeah.
thing's a donkey, gigantuan Pacific hybrid. And I mean, I see, I measure for California bowmans, and I see the bucks that come in and come out and where they're shot at and this and that, and you go, come on, like that's a mule deer. But
Yeah.
because it was shot on this side of the road, it's considered Pacific hybrid or a blacktail or vice versa of everything in between. To where guys will shoot a blacktail on the mule deer side, and no, it's got to get scored as a mule deer, and you're just like,
Yeah, no.
come on, no, that to where he shot a giant. That thing's a giant. I don't care what anybody says, especially
deer.
do it on public land with a bow. It's top notch. That's going to be far and few ever to get.
Yeah, if I ever shoot anything bigger than that,
I told him.
I haven't seen a blacktail that big. I mean, I've seen pictures of blacktails that other people are gripping and grinning on, but I've never seen one in the wild like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your score is good. Not a lot of deductions. He's symmetrical.
Yeah, he's very typical.
Very, very close. But
And that's what you want. The biggest buck I've ever shot, I sent you a picture of it a while
that's
back.
a really nice deer.
That was on public land, and he went a day with no sleep. I went 4 days with no sleep, not an hour, to where I was working double shifts starting Wednesday, and opening day was Saturday, and I did not sleep all day, hunted all day Saturday, went to work Saturday night, hunted all day Sunday, and it was Sunday at 1 p.m., and it was 107 degrees outside when I shot that buck with my bow. It was...
That's our hunting though.
yeah, you shot that
California
buck
hunting.
in 2012, 13?
Yeah, probably 2011, 2012.
Because I think that's when I just got a bow and was like, holy shit, I need a bow. And then I went out and shot a hell of a buck, and I'm like, oh, I like this bow stuff. Okay.
Had
Adds an extra
hell
couple
yes.
months to your hunting season.
Yeah.
had less than inch and 5/8 of deductions on the whole frame. Just about as beautiful as a symmetrical buck. you
Yeah,
could
that's
get.
a really nice deer. That picture
It
you
was
sent me.
huge, to where it'll never be topped. I'll never top that.
I wouldn't say that.
Let's hope that's not true. But
I'm trying to reverse psychology.
the
about
reverse
that.
psychology
Yeah.
on yourself. I
I'm-
like it.
I don't even believe in bucks that big
We
anymore.
keep raising the bar. I mean,
Hey,
2018's here in 2 more days. We got to be thinking 2018 is going to be even better year. Hopefully we get the rain, hopefully we get the feed, and hopefully we get the antler growth on the animals. But there's still going to be a few stompers out
Oh
there.
yeah, I see them every
Right.
year. I see them come out
They're
of the
always
units
there.
that we
Game
hunt
plan,
every
guys.
year.
I'm telling you, this burn is making me think about stuff.
Well, the burn
I
out there
agree.
where we hunt, they burned
Yeah, they burned a ton
Yeah,
of
they
stuff
did.
out
out there to where next year that desolate burned area
Yeah, if we get some
might
rain.
be
It's gonna be money.
the honey hole.
Yeah.
4 years ago, that burnt area was pretty hot, and then this year during the junior hunt,
Oh, I was out there in the junior hunt.
I drove through there during the junior hunt because one of the kids that I knew had a tag, and there wasn't a freaking deer out there.
No, and that's all they had really open.
Yeah,
And it was like,
ridiculous.
we're supposed to take these kids into half the logs were still smoldering
were
and
still burning.
burning. We're like, when did they burn this? Oh, 2 days ago. You're like, what?
That's the wrong
Like-
time to hunt a burn.
Yes. We're like,
Not
Well,
ideal.
there was no stalking opportunities, even if you would have seen a deer out there, because
because they can see you from
they
3.5
can see you.
miles away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
It was bad, but we ended up getting nice pig. We got coyotes. We got both their deer. Quail. They were both first time hunters. It was awesome. They both got first coyotes. They both got ducks, quail. We were
That's
out there
awesome.
just having a blast.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. Share that with your kids, man.
Yeah,
Same thing on my youth hunter that I had out there. He killed a little forgadorn on the last evening. He killed a pig the day before. It was a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
So
It was great.
good times, good times.
All right, guys. For the fourth time, we'll
Yep.
Hey, turn on some country music or something and wrap this thing up.
try to shut her down. I'm not even
He
sure.
ran out of whiskey an
I
hour
did.
ago.
I need another drink.
You and me both.
Ooh,
Yeah, I need.
that was some good whiskey.
That was some good whiskey.
Who brought that over anyway?
Mr. Brad Pierce, of course.
That was some good
I don't
whiskey.
think so. I think that was Kenna. If I remember right, Kenna brought that in. I think
She probably
it
went to the
was-
store and bought it too.
I think it was a woman that
Yeah.
brought that bottle in.
No,
I'm
no.
pretty confident that I saw a woman bring a basket.
She brought it in because I had her carry it because I was carrying beer too. Oh, I got beer in the.
I
in
sure
the
like
fridge.
that. That was good crown, though.
It was. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's bringing
Oh.
it up. Oh,
Chris Ledoux. Yes.
No better way to end 2017.
the man, the myth, the legend.
Who can name the song?
8-second ride.
Easy. Come on.
Come on.
Living the dream, baby.
Justin got it.
I could probably name
You
all
guys
the
want to
songs.
sing along?
I got his autograph on a hat.
Rolling down a
Poster.
long highway
Copenhagen lid.
out to New Mexico. All right, boys. We'll see you guys in 2018, huh?
Let's do this.
We're
Amen.
gonna
Let's
make it a
whack
good
and
year.
stack a bunch of them.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do some
Yep.
hunting.
Now that I got a new hat, you're going to start getting a lot of selfie pictures.
That's
May
fine.
tags be plentiful for everybody. And what that means is, by God, frickin' don't forget to apply.
Right?
Beg, borrow, steal, get the money somehow. Put your name in the hat because somebody, somewhere is going to pull just the ultimate tag.
And then we're all going to be
if
there.
it might not
to
be
help
you or might not be me, hopefully it'll be somebody that we know and we'll be able to go.
Yep.
Because
I just want to experience some of these hunts that people can draw the tags. I don't have
Yeah,
to be the one
Nebo.
behind the trigger.
I got a friend that's hunting San Gregorio sheep.
I know.
I think he's hunting next week.
We need to
killing
connect
me.
with that guy.
I'm telling you,
I still have a hard time explaining that to my wife. She goes, well, why are you going if you can't hunt? I'm like, hey, it's not.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah, I'm like, it's
no pressure on me.
No pressure.
I'm just like, well, it's not just that. I'm like, you don't understand. It's the camaraderie. It's the being in camp with them. It's the
It's the whole
you're
experience.
just
Yeah.
there. You're that
Why
helpful
we
hand.
do it.
Sometimes it's like I know for me personally, another person with me helps keep me calmer. I don't know what it is about that person.
Depends on
but-
who you're hunting with.
I was gonna say, not
if
me.
he's over here,
Kill it.
get that
Yeah.
one. You
Without
might
Red
rack
Bull, too,
my
that's a
nerves,
crazy
but
thing.
Normally, you're just like, okay, he's 32 yards. You got that guy that's just there toward. You're almost your coach.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that helps me tremendously.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why I like going with other people.
Whack them and stack them.
Let's do
All
this.
right, guys. We'll close out 2017, and we'll see everyone in 2018.
Hoorah.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Ciao.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Lucas Pa, host of the RNA Outdoors podcast. Please check out Podbean and iTunes. If you have an iPhone or iPad, go to Podcasts app on your device, search for RNA Outdoors, and hit the purple subscribe button. When doing this, it'll automatically upload when new podcasts are loaded, and they will download into your queue. For Android users, you can access the podcast through Podbean, Stitcher, or just use our website, www.rnaoutdoors.com/podcast. In addition, under the RNA Outdoors podcast channel, please leave a review and a 5-star rating. These reviews help boost our popularity and outreach. You can also follow us on our social media outlets, Twitter at RNA Outdoors, Instagram at Rod N Arrow Outdoors, and Facebook, RNA Outdoors. All links are in the show notes as well. If you like what you've heard, we hope you'll pass along our channel to your friends and colleagues. Keep up the good fight. We cannot sit by and watch the public lands devoted to wildlife protection wither away. There's simply too much at stake. Make your voice heard, speak up, get involved with conservation efforts, and know that every little bit helps. As we say on the mountain, see you guys on the next ridge.